morning if there ever was one. I feel like if something could go wrong, it has gone wrong. Woke up early, could not fall back asleep. So I'm tired. Barely got my oldest on the bus in time. So that stressed me out for like the hour it took us to try to get her ready. And let's see, what else? Did I say I'm tired? I'm tired. And quite honestly, this is going to be a little bit of a maybe not so fun video. I don't know. We'll see. But we have come here to talk about a new foundation that I got during the Sephora VIB sale. So I did feature it in my haul. And it is the Antonym Skin Esteem Certified Organic Foundation. I had said that after the success that I had with the Osmosis, that I really wanted to get into more natural skincare. Not skincare, makeup. Now, let me preface by saying that Osmosis is not technically natural. I think I misspoke on that in my other video. It is a healthier foundation because it is mineral based, but it does have silicones in it. So if you're sensitive to silicones, you know, you might want to steer clear of that. So this is a natural, organic, certified organic foundation. It retails for $52 and it does come in 1.06 ounces, but it still says 30 milliliters. So it's basically 1 ounce. Now, if you see the bottle right here, it is plastic and it looks like I've already used a lot. Now, mind you, it came with a very large space down here empty. So, I mean, I've used it 4 or 5 times, but not as much as it looks like I have. I'm in the color medium light. Again, it's $52. It currently only has 5 reviews on Sephora and it only has 6 shades. I found when I'm looking more into like natural organic makeup, because I do want to feature a little bit more of it on my channel, that the shade selection is awful, beyond awful. So that is something I have found. Now, this is probably the most confusing foundation review I'm going to do. And I'm going to start off, don't have anything on my face right now. I'm going to start off telling you about the foundation and what I used it with versus doing the demo and then going into that, because I think once you see the demo, you'll kind of understand why. Real quick though, there is no silicones. It's basically got a couple of oils, sweet almond oil, Chinensis seed oil, jojoba seed oil, witch hazel, shea butter, hyaluronic acid. So some of those things people will be sensitive to. If you are sensitive to oils or shea butter, I know a lot of times people have issues with clogged pores and shea butter. But let me tell you real quick, it says it's a long-lasting, buildable liquid foundation for all skin types. It also says the finish is matte. And it says that it blends with your skin and leaves it with a delicate, velvety, matte sheen. The formula helps support the complexion's natural beauty and smooth the skin's texture by creating an invisible veil. Every Monday morning, there's the garbage truck. What it's formulated without: parabens, sulfates, phthalates. And it is obviously cruelty-free. All right, let's talk about this. Got my notes. The first day, I used it with my Color Science Brightening Primer and my new RMS untinted powder. No, tinted powder. On this day, I posted a picture on Instagram. I have to sneeze. That was cute, wasn't it? I posted a picture on Instagram using that combination, the Color Science and the RMS. I used the Tarte round brush that came in the holiday set. Look, I have Monday hair too. Lord have mercy. To buff it out. The first impression was that it was a flawless, glowing base. Now, mind you, it does claim to be matte. I found it to be glowing. And the primer that I used is not a luminous primer. Very smooth, not too dewy or matte. Looked great after 12 hours of wear. I really liked it. I thought it looked really good. I had no issues with it. The next day, I used my Pure Correct and Smooth, I think, primer and my Chanel powder, which honestly, everything looks good with my Chanel powder. And I used the Tarte brush again because I had such good luck with it the first day. I think it stayed a little less glowy with the Chanel all day long. I had it on for, again, 12 hours this day, and I did not have to do any touch-ups. No issues with application or anything. And I kind of jumped the gun on this because I can't remember who I was watching. I think it was Shades of Cassie, and she hauled this in her VIB haul, and she said that she absolutely hated it and she was returning it. And I never comment on videos, and I commented and said, oh my goodness, that's so sad. I'm loving this, you know, blah, blah, blah. And then the next day happened. Okay, this is why I don't comment on videos, because the next day happened. And I used my Becca Backlight Priming Filter, which is one of my very favorite primers, and my Honest Beauty powder, okay? But I didn't get to the powder part. Let me tell you. I tried the sponge on this day. I put the primer on. My skin was glowy and youthful and great. And then I went in and I put the foundation on this side of my face. I always start off my right side of the face. I blended it in with a sponge. It looked okay. And then like 20 seconds later, it looked like a hot mess. I cannot even express to you. I've never had a foundation look like this. It patched up so badly on my skin. I had streaks of foundation. It oxidized like no other. I didn't notice it oxidizing the other days, but this day it certainly did. So it must have the other days. I think it was because it was so patchy and you could see the difference between the skin and the actual foundation. I was horrified. And so I was like, okay, maybe it's just because the sponge. Maybe that's the problem. So I went in on this side of my face with the same exact brush that I'd used the past 2 days and had success with. It did it again. And I'm thinking, holy cow. My forehead looked like a road map, y'all. I can't even express to you how bad it was. I was trying to get ready for a wedding that I had to work that day, and I was in kind of a like time crunch. I didn't have a ton of time. I had to take a makeup wipe, which just makes me cringe to think that I actually put a makeup wipe on my face, because that's just not my favorite, and take everything off. Reapply my sunscreen and go in with a complete, I think I went in on my Givenchy foundation because I just had to know, I had to use something that worked. A foundation has never looked that hideous on my face ever. So I thought, okay, maybe it was the primer and maybe it was the sponge, because those are two things that I hadn't used yet. And so the next day, even though I did not want to wear it, I did for the purpose of this review. I went in with no primer and I used my fingers because I had seen some other reviews where they used their fingers. So this is now we're going to get into the actual demo, okay? Because I wanted you to kind of see what my experience was. I'm like really comfy in my hoodie this morning. Before I showed you the demo, I'm going to use my fingers again today with no primer. And I'm going to see if it did to me what it did yesterday. Okay, we're going to do a little experiment. So I'm going to take one pump, just one, because I'm going to start out, and I'm going to zoom you in. Okay, so I want to start out on this side of the face, and I'm going to use my finger. I don't have a single mirror. I'm losing my mind. All right, here we go. We're going to start out on this side of the face. Again, no primer, nothing on, except my sunscreen, which I'm never giving up. And I'm just going to rub it into my face, okay? So you can see that provides very, 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 very light coverage. Go up on my forehead. Now on my forehead, it's gonna do it for y'all. I'm gonna use a brush on my forehead just to try to get it. I'm so glad it's doing it for y'all. I am so glad that it's doing it for y'all. I'm gonna finish out my face just because. And I noticed I didn't put any eyeshadow or corrector on, because I'm not sure I'm keeping this on my face. So, you know, remember it doesn't have any silicones in it, so it's not going to have that much slip when you apply it. And I have a little bit more on the back of my hand, so I'm just going to pick it up and try to build it up. Because I think it does say it's buildable. So... and just so nobody can blame the brush, I am going to lightly tap. Okay, mind you, I have not done anything off camera. Everything you have seen has been on camera. So I'm going to sit here for like, I don't know, probably like 5 minutes. I am going to shut my camera off. You're just going to have to trust that I'm not going to do a single thing to my face, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm eventually going to either have to zoom out so you can see or zoom in a little bit, and I'm just hoping that it's going to show in the camera. But I'm significantly darker than when I first applied it, and it is orange. It's pulling orange on my side. Again, I don't know what's going to come off until I edit. This part of my face, See if we can like really zoom. All right here is patchy, splotchy, and no foundation is attaching to my skin. It's not blending into my skin right there. This side, there's a spot right here, if you can see, where it's not blending in. Another thing it does during the day is it gets darker around here, so effectively it looks like I have a flipping beard, which is never something anybody wants, really. And now let me show you my forehead. Does anything scream to you on this forehead? Does that scream to you on this forehead? Is that not the weirdest thing you've ever seen a foundation do? I've never had one do this to me upon first application, and I did not touch my forehead. It did this as I blended it out. This side of my forehead is a little bit better, although there are a couple of patches that are not having foundation adhere to them. But look at that. It is already significantly sinking into the smile line. Now, mind you, I know I haven't set it. I also don't find that it's a matte finish. I see a pretty radiant. I can't even. That's new. I don't remember seeing that the last time. So again, I don't really think it's a matte finish. I think it's more of a radiant finish. So I don't know. I don't know what else to say about this foundation other than I'm not wearing it today. I mean, I'm going to take it off because I don't want to spend 15 hours and 15 different tools trying to make something work when I have 50 other foundations that I do know work for me. I'm really upset about this because I don't know why it worked the first 2 days and not the next 2 or 3. But I will say that even the first 2 days, by the end of the day, I could tell a little darkening around my mouth. And then there was a couple of patches around like my jawline that were doing the same thing that my flipping forehead is doing right now. And I personally don't want to recommend a foundation that only works with certain products. Because I said it did work okay with the Color Science and it did work okay with the Pure, at least at the beginning. I don't think I'm comfortable recommending something that I say is not going to work with whatever primer you have or whatever non-primer you have. I don't even have a primer on. Okay, so that doesn't make sense. And I don't want to recommend something that you have to use a brush and then a beauty blender and your fingers to get to make a semblance to work. It's a fail for me. I'm so sad, but it is a 100% fail. I don't know. I'm not too keen on it. I know a lot of people that, I mean, I've seen reviews that it's worked for people, but then again, I did see where Shades of Cassie said, this was horrific. I think she's going to feature it in like a first impression soon, so I'd like to see if it does the same thing to her as it did to me. And I did have one of y'all tell me you were having a hard time blending it out, and I think I responded that yes, it definitely works better with some products than others, and you can see why. So I'm going to start talking about this foundation, but obviously I don't give it a thumbs up. I don't put my recommendation behind it, and I'm really sad about it. But I'm not going to stop trying to find an organic foundation that works, so stay tuned for future foundation reviews, and hopefully this was somewhat helpful. I tried to get it up before the end of the BIB sale because I know some of y'all were contemplating getting it, so hopefully this helps sway you one way or the other. If you haven't subscribed, be sure and do so you don't miss out on any future videos. As always, thank you so much for watching and have a very blessed day.